Hey, assalamu alaikum. So, back with another vlog. Some things got me thinking recently. And today's khutbah at the Da'wah Center was about Tayammum. We had a huge water main that broke here in Houston and pretty much sapped like the eastern side of town of its water supply. So a lot of places had just a trickle or no water at all. And last night at a halaqah I go to, one of the brothers, Jazahullah khairan, asked me about Tayammum and suggested that be the topic for today's khutbah. In today's khutbah, I mentioned a hadith which is narrated in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, as well as the Sunan of At-Tirmidhi and the Sunan of Abi Dawood from Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna as-sa'id at-tayyib tahur al-muslim wa in lam yajid al-ma' 10 sinin فإذا وجد الماء فليمسه بشرته أو كما فإن ذلك خير أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم." Indeed, pure earth is purification for the Muslim, even if he doesn't find water for 10 years. And when he finds water, then he should touch it to his skin. He should wash. So why am I mentioning this hadith? Well, I'm mentioning it because a lot of times we will think that the dispensations, allowances, special situations that we're put in, that we're somehow wrong for being put on those situations or being in those situations, that we're inherently bad for allowing that to happen or for that happening to us. And I see this throughout so many different things. For example, the other day we did a webinar called five financial mistakes that can ruin your family and spiritual life, and how to alleviate them or get past them, with productivemuslim.com. So you should go to productivemuslim.com/money and sign up for the money masterclass that I'm doing, inshallah ta'ala, next month. Another 6-week session where we're going to cover a whole bunch of different topics about money and money psychology and planning and all that. So here's the idea, so here's the thing. Somebody sends a question after the webinar to me and says, "Hey, why were you condoning riba in the webinar?" And I thought to myself for a minute, hold on, I didn't condone riba in the webinar. But one of the big financial mistakes that we covered was falling into debt and carrying too much debt, not making a plan to get out of that debt. And the example that I used was the example of a person who, for example, purchases something on a credit card for, say, $2,200, and their credit card charges them 18%. And this is very common with people, very common. Oh, I'm just going to pay the minimum, and I'll eventually pay it off. It won't be a big deal. As long as I'm paying the minimum, I'm doing okay. So if you only pay the minimum on your credit card, that $40 a month, you will pay off that $2,200 plus interest in almost 10 years, 9.8 years, almost 10 years. If you pay $15 more a month, you're still going to take you like almost 6 years, 5.5, 6 years, and you're still going to end up paying $3,000 something. And obviously, if you just paid like $220 a month over 10 months, you would be done in a year, and usually you don't have to pay an interest charge on that. I'm mentioning this because the mere mention of a less than optimal situation does not mean that we are condoning it, that we want it to happen, or that we encourage it. We're simply saying, how do you deal with a situation that you've been put in? How do you deal with when you have too much debt in your credit card? Just like, how do you deal with the fact that you don't have water, or you can't use water because you're ill, or something else, right? The water, weather conditions, whatever that may be. We have to get beyond placing blame for everything. And, this is something I've talked about before. I'm not sure about on the vlog here, but I've talked about in khutbah before, in talks, there's a difference between shame culture and guilt culture. And unfortunately, there's a lot of guilt culture in Muslim cultures. Notice the plural. Because your culture is not Islam in its totality. And the number one problem is you think whatever you've been taught is synonymous with everything that is correct about Islam. Wrong. Number two, you don't take the time to actually learn the dispensations and the allowances and the things that the Shara has given you to be able to make your life easier. Number three, you feel shamed because of all of that. And so the Prophet ﷺ essentially is telling Muslims, don't be ashamed if you can't use water. Even if it's for 10 years, you should still remain faithful. Tayammum is an act of worship, as Salah is an act of worship. Purify yourselves and pray. Don't feel ashamed because of the past. Okay? Regret the past, regret the mistakes that you've made, but don't live with an impending doom of shame over your head. Allow that regret to be the catalyst that moves you forward and allows you to correct the situation that you're in. And inshallah ta'ala, if you can do that, be all good. All right, y'all. Assalamu alaikum.